Now, normally on this show, we don't really do all sort of shout-outs or dedications, but when it's a special guest and they point at you and go, can you dedicate that song? Then, yeah, I'm on board. So, Noel, who is it I need to dedicate the song to?
That's for my two sons, Donovan and Sonny, who are massive U2 fans.
Great, you're bringing them up right. They love you too.
Yeah, they do. It's a recent thing.
What? And so I guess, now, tell me this then. How old are they?
Donovan is 7 and Sonny is 4. I caught Sonny the other day doing some scribbling at the kitchen table, just going, Sunday, bloody Sunday. I was like, oh, look at him there singing a song about terrorism. While he's doing his,
Cute.
While he's doing his little scribble. Oh, bless him.
Now, how do they get into U2? I take it they've obviously got iPads and iPhones. Did they get into because they were force-fed the new album?
They're friends. Donovan is a very good friend of Bono. And
hang on a minute, your kid is good friends with Bono.
I know, they're having a bit of a love in it at the minute. It's a long story. But when that album came out and all the furore surrounding it, Donovan said, let me your iPod, let me run my ears over this album. And he's become a super fan. He's like, him and his mate Bono are having a bit of a loving across the ocean. It's fun to watch. I often thought that, I would be the one to, turn him on to stuff like that, but it's like, he's bored of me now.
Well, Bono's got something like 15 kids, so, I mean, they're probably into you.
He's like a Rasta, isn't
he? When you see Bono, I always think Rasta. You're quite right.
It's the first word that screams to you is Rastafari.
What was your take? And you talked about the furore about what happened with the free download stuff with the U2 album. What did you think about that?
It's not something that I would do.
I mean, he still got paid. They got something like £100 million.
I don't think they got £100 million.
Right.
I don't think they got £100 million. There's not £100 million in the music business.
Yeah, but there is in the Apple business.
Well, who got paid? I don't know who got paid, but for me, it's not something I'm not in that position to be able to give away records. But no, first and foremost, it's one of their better records.
It's a good album.
There's some great moments on it. But whatever works for them, do you know what I mean? They obviously don't need the money. They've obviously got just too much money and you know what, just give it away. But I've seen that as I've been doing this record, the one that I've got coming out, sitting in marketing meetings, kind of the most boring things you could ever wish upon a person. After 40 minutes, I'm just thinking, it'd be just easy just to give it away because this is boring. This stuff, going on about how are we going to release this record.
And album used to just come out on a Monday, and that was kind of it.
Oh no, you can't do it now. You can only release a record at 2 particular times of the year, if you're me.
Really?
One's October and one's March.
So you've gone for March?
I've gone for March because I was too late for October. The science behind it all now is.
Now, what's the deal with the March and October thing then?
I don't know. So much to do with TV shows, Glastonbury, and all that kind of thing, I suppose. Right. Because my last album was out in October. This one's out in March.
Look at you.
So I'm kind of, keeping the fans guessing.
But now, are you sat in these marketing because this is the first album, unless I'm wrong, that you've written and produced. So you're the boss now of your own record. Yeah. What was that like? It was
the music, the creative side of it was great. I didn't mind that at all. The management of the sessions was I found not difficult or frustrating. I just didn't know where I was up with it half the time. Because the last record I did, I was in LA for like 4 months, and I had a producer and it was great. This time, doing a record in London, I mean, crikey. I was, it's difficult to stay in. Do you know what I mean? It's difficult to focus on making a record. Whereas when you're in LA and you're on your own, you kind of, you're immersed in it.
You're stripped away from distractions, is what you're saying.
Absolutely. And then this new club opened in London, which...
You sound like a teenager. Surely now at your time of life, you should be able to focus and do your job.
Someone said to me last time I was in there, you're always in there. But we can't stop going there at the minute. Brilliant. But I eventually did finish the record, but... and
are you happy with it?
Yeah, I wouldn't point it out if I wasn't happy with it, yeah. I mean, there's always a bit of you thinks maybe would a producer have squeezed another 10% out of it anywhere, but... I'm pretty happy with the results. I mean, I got turned down by 3 or 4 producers.
Did you?
Yeah, because I was kind of doing a bit of it, and then I'd kind of take it to someone, and whether their diary wouldn't have worked out. So then I'd do another bit of it. And by the end, it was virtually finished. I had a producer say to me, he listened to it, and he said, "Well, it's great. What do you want me to do?" And I said, "Well, just want you to do what every other producer does: just sit at the back, do nothing, take all the credit for it, and relieve me of £250,000." And he said, "Well, I can do that."
Why don't you just say?
And I said, "Well, as I'm saying it now, you're fired anyway." In the end, the producers that I spoke to said, "Look, it's already finished. You might as well just finish it off yourself, bless them." So
that's very honest.
So I did, and yeah.
So as when saying you got like Johnny Marr plays on one track, right? Yes. Normally with the producer, if you weren't happy with someone who's guesting on it, do you then have a quiet word with him to go, "Listen, don't make it awkward for me, but he needs to work a bit harder"?
It's difficult now. You're solo artist. What we used to do in Oasis was, if that didn't happen, you'd kind of say, "Look, mate, it's not me. It's the other four." It's not. Look at me, man. I love it. But Liam,
it's the crazy one.
But Liam and Gem, they're just not having it. And what can I say? Squares, mate. But now you're a solo artist.
Who do you blame?
Well, your wife. You just say, "Look, Johnny, I love it, mate, but
Mrs.
she's not having it." And I love you, I hang out with you, but I've got to live with her. But luckily for me, Johnny's bit on the record is like
I can't wait to hear that. That must have been amazing to get to play with him on a track on your own album.
Yeah, I mean, I've known him for a long time. I knew Johnny from before I had a record deal, and I tried to get him on What a Life from the last album, and he couldn't do it. And this time it happened. He had a break in his tour, and I was doing that, and it was brilliant. And it was amazing to be in the studio with him all day and watch him at work. And he's such a top dude, man. He's really annoying about him is this: he's only 18 months older than me, and he's been around forever.
He has decades.
Yes,
but he looks so young.
Absolutely. And I did a gig with him at Brixton a while back, and we were looking at him and I was thinking, God, you make me sick. He's literally 18 months older than I am, and yet he's done so much. Because he was like 16 in the Smiths, or whatever it was. And he's a great. Well, obviously, you didn't have him. I noticed you didn't have him in your greatest guitarist football team.
Well, look, I tell you what, we'll stick on the new single. When we come back, we'll talk about this, because I thought there might be some contentious.
There's a few missing there, I've got to say.
Well, I said to the guys, I said, look, there's that 11 that we've done of great guitarists, and Noel's 11 I think will be completely different, like a different team.
Johnny Marr's not. See, the thing about guitarists is they are the centre forward of the band anyway. So All right, I'll tell you what, let's pause that. Let me stick on the new single from Noel when we come back.
How about a cool, fresh vibe right now? In it,
Noel Gallagher.
new music on Absolute Radio.
On Absolute Radio, that's the new single from our special guest this morning, Noel Gallagher. And I noticed as well the B-side, continuing a thing you used to do with Oasis, where some of the B-sides easily could have been an A-side. Do the Damage is a cracking track as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, I get it from fans all the time. Why is it not on the album? Why is it not on the album? But the thing is that if the B-sides were on the album and the songs would then have to be B-sides, do you know what people would say? Why isn't it on the album? So they just have to accept that my B-sides are brilliant. And that's the end of it. Do you know what I mean? That's the end of it. So I get it all, no matter where I am in the world. That's better than the single. I'm just like, okay, well then just turn it over. Just to pretend it's the single.
Okay, and I was reading about the new album, and there's saxophone on this.
There is, and bass clarinet.
Whoa, what's going on with you?
I don't know.
Space jazz.
Yes, a bit space jazz. Yeah, it's come about with age. With age, and I don't know. The songs, it's not like a thing I set out to do, but the two songs where the saxophone's on the album are kind of reminiscent of the 70s, I suppose, and they just fitted. And when we got the guy down, Jim White, who plays saxophone for, he's done it for Primal Scream and a few others, and he played his thing. It sounds, honestly, it's
So are you
amazing.
talking sax solos?
Sax crimes. Yeah, sexual harassment. Yes.
So, Spandau Ballet.
No.
That's fighting talk.
Don't think Careless Whisper or Courtney Pine or any of that nonsense. Think
Some 10-minute wig out.
I'll get right. The first track's called Riverman. If you think of the saxophone playing, it's reminiscent of Pink Floyd.
Right, okay.
It's kind of that. And then there's another one called The Right Stuff, which is quite avant-garde, I suppose. It's a lot of nonsense, but it's great. It's really good. It was fun to do it.
All right, now, let's talk about this then. So early on this morning, then, we were trying to form a football team, right, of great guitarists. Richie, do you want to take Noel through the team at the moment?
Brian May in goal, back four of Johnny Marr, Carlos Santana, Jimmy Page and Angus Young. Midfield, George Harrison and Prince on the wing, with a central midfield duo of Keith Richards and Eric Clapton. Jimi Hendrix and Slash up front. On the bench, Pete Townsend, Eddie Van Halen, Francis Rossi and Rick Parfitt. The chairman of the side is B.B. King. You are managing it.
Now, I like the manager.
I thought you might.
I like the manager. Yeah. He could give great motivational speeches, but the centre midfield there, Richards and Clapton, you're getting the run around there. You're getting the run around there. There's no legs in that. There's no legs in there. So I'd swap those two. I'd say Richards, you're coming off, lad. Going to put John Squire.
Rich, do you want to go to the whiteboard, right? Let's start to put this together. It's like a tactics board.
We're going to put John Squire in there.
John Squire, okay, yeah. So where does John Squire go in? So Richards is now out.
Yeah, John Squire's in. And then beside John Squire, we're going to get rid of Clapton, and then we're going
he's out completely, not even in the squad?
Not even in the squad.
Wow, this guy's like Fabio.
And then we're going to put Johnny Marr in there, because he's like a whippet, Johnny Marr.
Yeah, we've got him in defence at the moment.
See that midfield, suddenly, is class.
Harrison, Squire, Marr, Prince.
You've now freed up a right back.
Yeah, well, right back, I would go for... now, this is a problem. Right, so... let's see who's on the bench. Van Halen is appalling.
What, Eddie Van Halen? You can't say that.
Okay.
You must have come on and tear out the Bible.
Three things. Eddie. That bad name. And then it's kind of suggesting that he's Dutch somehow. No, not having it.
I see where you're going, right, okay.
No, a Dutch fella called Eddie, no. I'm going to put Pete Townsend as... is that left back or right back?
It's right back.
So is he doing that windmill thing before throwing? You remember with his big arm where he starts to wind it up like that and then throws the ball in?
Now, I don't like the goalie.
Brian May, think about the height, the hair, the clogs.
Okay. Well, then there's... Yeah, so we've got to get Dave Gilmour in there somewhere.
Okay. So is Angus Young coming out?
I'm thinking Slash might not be much cop at football.
It's American, they call it soccer.
Yeah.
I mean, plus he's a chain smoker.
He's from Stoke as well.
Can you, in FA rules, can you play with a large hat like that as well?
I'm not sure whether it's in the rules, is it?
No, I've not seen a top hat on many teams.
Yeah, I'm not sure the cigarette is either. Is in the rules. Hendrix and Slash up front. They maybe cancel each other out. Hendrix, yes. Slash, I don't know. What about Weller?
Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking as well. He's a fit dude, isn't he?
Weller and Hendrix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now we're
and also,
talking.
Are we saying that the kit designer would be Paul Weller as well? I mean, he's into his look and his fashion. Is he the shirt designer?
Yeah, he's started his own clothing range, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Available at Primark, I believe.
All right, so on the subs bench, there's still Rossi and Parfitt. Are they? I get the feeling that they're not part of this new setup with you either.
They're championship material, aren't they?
Right,
really?
okay.
They're not Premier League, though, are they?
No, they're not.
Are they Premier League? Steve Craddock is more worthy of a place in there than Parfitt and Rossi. And what about who else plays guitar that's any good?
I love the way you actually put proper thought into this, and rightly so, and also the position of the players as well.
I'm liking the first 11 now.
Yeah.
May, I'm not sure about May.
So who can you see replacing Brian May in goal?
I don't know, let me think.
What about Chuck Berry, some of the greats, the older ones?
Chuck Berry's maniac, though, isn't he?
Yes.
He's mental.
But he's doing the duck walk. He's doing the duck walk, doing like Grubbelar did, doing penalties.
Have you ever seen that? Oh, is it? Can I say this on the radio? Yeah, there's a bootleg out called Johnny Be Bad. Have you seen that? I mean, it's...
Yes. Yeah. He's a crazy man.
Stocking filler.
All right, let's get Lace Travel. We'll come back with our guest, who's Noel Gallagher this morning. It's 8:24, his bells.
Absolute Radio Travel.
On Absolute Radio, that's Paul Weller. who warned our special guest this morning, Noel Gallagher, that if he came in today, we would force him to do the travel news.
Yeah, he does. He's a biggie. He listens to you. He's listening. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning, Paul. And Noel will be doing, if he agrees, the travel in 5 minutes' time. So we'll have a look, make sure it's up to speed in the Surrey area where Paul is. So we'll find out what the travel
Paul
is.
is in the Queen's Park area this morning, having his cornflakes and being belligerent, I suppose.
His cornflakes. Shouting at them.
Why not? It's belligerent, everything else.
Now, Paul is going to find this interesting. During that song, then, Paul went from being a striker in the football team to in nets, replacing Brian May.
Yeah.
7 changes in total.
You've gutted it.
What the manager has done to the side that he's inherited.
Is it Pellegrini, this one?
Yeah. Well, it needed a clean sweep because, we were going nowhere, lads.
And Steve Jones has come in for Angus Young.
Steve Jones for Angus Young. Angus, you dress like a schoolboy. You're obviously a juvenile. You've got no place in the men's game. Do one.
Okay. Now, people have been sending in questions all throughout the weekend for you, okay? The number one thing, and we'll get out of the way now, will Oasis be getting back together again and playing Glastonbury next year? Because there's this story which came out of nowhere this year.
Will we be playing Glastonbury? Yes, we will. And we are getting back together. I think it's going to be on a Thursday. I think it's going to be February the 16th at 5:20.
Right, okay, thank you very much. That's the Mail Online now leading with that. They're updating their website.
Good, because quite frankly, the more I say no, the more these stories. If I just say yes, maybe they'll think, oh, you're taking the mickey, the answer to that is no.
Okay, right, let's get the headlines, and when we come back, Noel's going to be doing the travel news and also the song title game. Here's Andrew Bailey and Faker Others with the latest.
You're waking up with the Noel Gallagher Breakfast Show.
Morning.
Co-hosted by Christian O'Connell. On Absolute Radio.
It's a good song, but personally I prefer the B-side.
Yeah, that was great though. Seriously,
It's just
tell you what it was, but it was great.
Our special guest this morning is Noel Gallagher. Before we get into the song title game and Noel doing the travel news, I was seeing you on Gogglebox. So how did that come about? Do you watch that show and you thought, I've got to get on this?
I've seen it. We were on holiday, and with Kate and all. There's quite a few of us on holiday, and she said, I said, what's she been up to? She said, I'm doing this Gogglebox thing with Naomi. And I said, oh, she said, do you fancy doing it? And I said, yeah. And within 10 seconds, she'd call somebody and confirm that I was doing it. And I was like, well, hang on a minute. Well, hey, let me do that thing where I pass you on to somebody and then,
they say no.
And then they make it go away. She's like, no, darling, no, it's all confirmed now, darling. You're doing it now, darling. And I was like, oh. So then, we kind of get there on the night, and it was one of the best nights in I've ever had.
I bet it was a really good laugh.
It was good. I haven't seen it, but there was. I don't know when you watch that program. You'll never see this, but you're heavily prompted by a director as to what to look out for. So there's just the three of us sat in a room, and then there's a TV. And
are you drinking? And
yes. Well, the thing is, to get there, and the people said to me, "Well, you be here for 7 because filming starts at 7:30." And I was going to the woman, I guarantee you, Naomi Campbell won't get here before midnight. And she was saying, no, because we start 8:30. And I was like, you're an idiot. I said, you'd be lucky if Kate gets here before 3 in the morning. What are you talking about? So anyway, we got there on time. They both rock up at 10 o'clock, So by that point, I'm already drunk. I'm already well into the Monster Munch.
That was my favourite, was you and the Monster Munch. Had you brought those, or was that in your rider?
No, I demanded them. I ate 4 bags.
Was it the old school pickled onion ones?
They were the pickled onion ones. You're sat there, and then there's a little speaker, and so they start playing. First thing up was Downton Abbey.
That's it.
And of course it starts, and then everyone the 3 of us just start shouting at each other, and then there's like, stop, I was thinking, where's this noise coming from? And it was the director saying, yeah, you're just shouting at each other now. And the whole point of Gogglebox is that you watch the television. And my homie's going, yeah, but that's going to be really difficult for us. And I was, they were just shouting at each other. And how they edited it down to whatever it was unbelievable. But
I want to see the outtakes now. That sounds like the better show.
We were supposed to finish filming at 10 o'clock. You know what time we got out of there? 1:45. 1:45 in the morning. I was properly, when I got in, my missus said, how was it? And I was like, how's what? She said, Gogglebox. I was like, oh yeah, that thing, yeah. That thing I did yesterday. Yeah, it's all right, yeah.
Okay, so we're going to do the song title game next. Now, we need to do the travel news here. Now, Dave Grohl had a go at this on Thursday. And so you ready with your script here?
Got it, mate.
All right, here's the latest travel news for the country now with Noel Gallagher.
Morning. Queuing traffic due to an accident on the M40 London bound between Junction 4, High Wycombe Handy Cross roundabout, and Junction 3. On the M25 in Hertfordshire, queuing traffic anti-clockwise between Junction 22 for London Colney and Junction 16 for the M40. One lane is closed and queuing traffic due to a broken down vehicle on M4 London bound between Junction 12, Junction 11 for Reading. Now this one I do like. In Essex, there's an accident on the A13 westbound between the Five Bells interchange and the Orsett Cock.
Why are we giving this one?
I'll say that again.
Oh, no.
Between the Five Bells interchange and the Orsett Cock. In Cheshire, slow traffic and traffic heavier than normal on the M56 eastbound between Junction 15, M53, J14, A5117, in brackets, Hapsford. And on public transport, delays on southern trains at Haywards Heath due to a signalling problem. I am Noel Gallagher with the travel, which was sponsored by Paul Weller. Have a great day.
Can I ask you one thing? When was the last time you were on public transport?
Sorry, my Oyster card now.
This is incredible.
Yes.
He's got it. You've got an Oyster card.
I'm always on the tube.
Really?
On the tube,
I'm
yeah.
very impressed with that.
I love the tube.
Really? But don't you just get hassled all the time about going, Oasis going to reform?
Not at all. I think I've been, I wouldn't say I was hassled, but I've been a Scottish couple. I was sat opposite me on the tube once, and they were kind of muttering to each other and staring, and I was like, oh, and then when they says, excuse me, mate, I said what, and he said, which stop is it for Buckingham Palace? And I was like, I don't know, mate. I don't know. See the map there, thing there. Sorry, there. And that was it. He's asked me for directions. That's it. I've never been minded on the tube once, ever.
All right, we've got the song title game coming up next with Noel. How come you didn't get the call? Band-Aid 30.
Go Band-Aid?
Would you have done it?
My wife was asking me. I've blown it out. I've blown it out the last two times, so you probably thought.
Oh, no wonder why then. You said no.
Not that I said no. Not that I said no. I wasn't around the last time the Band-Aid 20 we were in LA.
Yeah.
And the Live 8 thing was the last time we had a gig in Manchester that day, so we couldn't do it. But
you'd have done it if they'd have called up this time. Sing with 1D.
Yeah, I suppose I would have done it. Yeah. One Direction.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind singing with like Bono there. I sang with him, Chris Marr. Yeah, all good. Seal. Yeah, good lads. Yeah, but yeah, Ollie Murs. I don't know.
All right, let's do the song title game then. So let's just remind Noel of some of the high scorers and low scorers in this. Paul Weller got 0 because he just gave a swear word for every answer.
Indeed. The highest scorer is Bono with 9. Dave Grohl recently, only a few days ago, got 7. So that's kind of, where things are.
So let's just refresh my memory of the rules here.
Every single answer to the question will be a song that you've penned yourself.
So the title of a song.
The title of a song you've penned yourself.
Is the question about the song?
No, not at all. I'll give you an example. So they could be an Oasis, could be High Flying Birds songs. An exceedingly thin person stood outside on a very cloudy day might what? Cast no shadow.
I was going to say Cast no shadow.
There you go. That's a demo. Okay, you're not getting a point for that one.
Okay.
So let's kick off. What kind of journeys are Michael Palin and Phileas Fogg famous for?
All around the world.
Correct, 1 out of 1. Marriage guidance counselling session. A lot of time is spent talking
Married
about
with
things in the heat of the moment.
Sorry, can you repeat the question again? I didn't quite get that. I just heard the word marriage tonight. Sorry, I was distracted there by that guy.
Well, you now know the answer, so I can't continue with that question.
Of course you can.
Marriage guidance counselling session. A lot of time is spent talking about things that were said when?
In the bedroom? In the heat of the moment. In the heat of the moment, yes.
2 out of 2, pushing it. What are the 2 favourite items of any Chancellor of the Exchequer?
Cigarettes and alcohol.
Correct, 3 out of 3. In the event of a prison jailbreak, what might you find the stressed warden shouting?
Cool, that's a tough one.
It's a High Flying Bird song.
The stressed warden.
Prison
High Flying
jailbreak.
Bird song.
Yeah.
It's awkward. This is a more.
Everybody's on the run.
Correct.
Oh, well done.
4 out of 4. In a fast food restaurant, what's the piece of equipment that makes the cold strawberry and chocolate ice cream based drinks?
Shaker maker.
Correct, 5 out of 5. If you aspired to own a fully operational hand cannon, you might be caught saying...
Hand cannon?
Yes, what's that? It's a porn site, isn't it?
It's a hand cannon.
It's about 50 quid round the corner on Compton Street.
A fully operational hand cannon.
Hand cannon?
Yes.
Hand cannon.
You should have said.
Yes.
Oh, I've had one of those. Off Dave round the corner. Belter. On a Friday. Full of kebabs.
The answer is if I had a gun.
Hang on, don't do
That's the question.
Well, you're mocking my question, so
You
I'm hurrying
mumbled
this
it with
up.
a hand cannon.
Come on, say the question. I was too busy thinking about my last hand cannon there.
Oh, wait, hand cannon.
What was a handy document to have if you were trying to escape
No, hang on a
Alcatraz?
minute, I want that. I'm going for 10 out of 10
Yeah,
here.
no, you got to give him that.
Okay, 6 out of 6.
Thank you.
What was a handy document to have if you were trying to escape Alcatraz?
A handy document to have.
Oasis this time.
Cool, you stumped him with this one.
It's
Alcatraz, you say?
yes,
Oh, a document?
yes,
Is it the master plan?
it is indeed. Yes.
Oh, well done.
What might be the last words before the death of Neil Armstrong, the Queen Mother, and Sir Patrick Moore?
Well, Queen Mum's already dead.
Yes, they all are.
Oh, yeah, well done.
So what did they...
What might have been their last words? Neil Armstrong, Queen Mother, Sir Patrick Moore.
Don't look back in anger?
No.
What?
the-
No, hang on a minute. I never said that. I thought that. Did I say that? I thought that. That came out.
What you actually said was "what a life," wasn't it?
Did the Queen Mother actually say that on her deathbed?
No, I'm speculating.
What a life.
Your impressions are amazing.
I know they are pretty good, aren't they? I mean, I'm truly wasted in the
2 to go, as quickly as possible.
So that's 8 out of 8.
What makes a thunderstorm even more spectacular when it's overnight?
What?
What makes a thunderstorm more spectacular when it's overnight?
When it's overnight,
Yes.
Shock of the lightning.
It is indeed. And the final question. 9 out of 9.
10 out of 10. For
Yes.
10 out of 10. This is the big one.
If Christian
Put Bono in his place.
If Christian suddenly left the studio and chucked in 2 sticks of dynamite on his departure, what would it result in?
An outbreak of joy in the country and possibly
High Flying Birds.
2 sticks of dynamite.
Yes. Chucked in on his departure. You and I are still sat here.
In fact, one of the best songs I ever wrote. The Death of You and Me.
Correct.
I am Noel Gallagher. You are Absolute Radio listeners. You've just been the witness to a 10 out of 10 Bono. You got more money than me. You wear better sunglasses than me. You wear better leather jackets than I do. But get on that. 10 out of 10.
No, thank you very much for coming in, mate. That was really, really good
Thank
fun.
you very much.
I hope you really enjoyed the hour. The single is out today. The album is, of course, out in March.
March the 2nd. Yes, please buy it, because a lot of thought has gone into this release date. Scientifically...
You're meant to say a lot of thought's got and effort's gone into the album, not the release date.
Oh, no, the album. Well, I didn't put that much effort into the album. I can only give it 75% at one time. Only people that say, well, I gave it 100%. I always am only giving it 75%. People say to me, why do you say that? It's like, we've got to keep a bit for the after show.
Right, okay.
Can't be leaving it all on stage.
Well, hopefully we'll see you again before when the album's out. Come back on the show.
I'm sure I've got some more tats to flog in the coming months. I'm sure I'll be doing something or other.
Door to door, the Avon ladies here as well.
Only me. Did you buy that record? Let me remind you.
No, thank you very much for coming, mate.
No worries,
Good luck
man.
with the album and the tour.
Thank you.
The Christian O'Connell Breakfast Show.